Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode of ASL Podcast. And I think it's episode 17 or what, right? But I'm here back with the boys, Himal and Ananda, as always. And for this podcast, since we will be skipping on our weekly recaps because we have received we have received word from the authority that our weekly recaps are the reasons why we get very low screen time or like watch time in our videos. So we are completely disregarding that. So hope that everyone's week had been all right, but we'll be diving straight into the topic for today, which will be the whole cycle of life. Guess what? We're feeling very philosophical for today, and we'll be diving into deep topics like individuality, the cycle of life, what it means to be in
I was
part
like,
cycle.
wait. I was like deep topic, machine learning and AI, and then individuality.
I
Good,
mean,
good, good.
I mean,
No,
Emotional
yep,
learning and AI?
I mean,
Uh-huh.
yep.
I would have loved to have the weekly recap this pod, but it is what it is, guys. It
Wait.
is what it is. Things are not
No,
that
this guy.
great right now.
No,
So,
no, no.
yeah, even though I'm
Oh,
smiling
okay.
right now, I'm not really smiling.
Sorry, Alan. This podcast is not a platform for you to, bring out your emotional feelings
Exactly, and
and
I
convey it to
respect.
some people.
Yeah, I respect the pod, so that's why I just wanted to, whatever, man. Come on, let's get on with
Yeah.
it. Let's talk about
Yeah.
freaking life.
Yeah, but nonetheless, the idea to stop our weekly recaps was the plan of Ananda, so we don't care about that. But still, talking about the cycle of life, okay? The first question always is what and why. What is the cycle of life, and why is it so important for us to discuss about it? What does it mean to be in a cycle of life, and whether standing outside this cycle is really the optimal solution, right? So first we'll be diving about what exactly is the cycle of life. So I'll be presenting my views first. So according to me, or like according to most of us probably, there is a
Before,
specific uh
Let him
yeah,
start, man. Come on, let him
be,
start before you ask question.
sorry. I just wanted to interrupt before we actually start because I just want to ask, what do you actually mean by circle of life? You mean cycle of life? You mean actually you mean the rat race thing, like get burned, get burned, and what do you call it? Get in this earth and then study and then work and then die. You mean that sort of
yeah,
circle of life,
that's what
cycle of life?
I'm trying to no, that's
So
what I'm trying to convey
yeah,
because all of
that's.
us might have our different interpretations of cycles of life.
Mhm.
So according to me, like the way you said that there could be different cycles of life, yes, there could be one where you could consider like the rat race that you talked about. The other could be you getting what you deserve, the karma cycle, and you being reincarnated into whatever you did in your past life. That is also kind of a cycle. But normal, like for this podcast, what I like to talk about is the rat race thing, that how all of us have a predefined societal norms that we follow, that we bind by, and we never even question about that. And that is how our life starts and ends. And everyone thinks that it is the optimal way to live your life, but that might not exactly be the case. But nonetheless, the cycle of life for me would probably be I could like divide it into 5 stages probably. So like from a biological standpoint, what we could include is birth, then the growing phase, the growth basically, then reproduction, because it is a basic primary component of life, right? Reproduction
Mhm.
and aging
Mhm.
and death, right? So aging and death. So five biological components. But since like we're in this new generation, so for today's people, there might also be two more components added, that is work and money. And we could add it somewhere around reproduction, around that phase, around that time of life. But I feel like that is the main that consists the main components of the cycle of life. And what do you guys think? Are there any extra things that should be added here? Because in today's generation, there are different needs, different demands for different people. as we are progressing with the generations. So, what do you guys think? Anything else that should be added?
Maybe Himal, you can go forward first.
So I would like to be a gentleman for a while. I give my opinion once we get deep and deep.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know what I
but
mean?
yeah, yeah. For some
Yeah.
people,
So circle of
yeah.
life. So if I have to talk about life here, so life is amazing, guys. And then
Mhm.
grass is always greenery on other side. That's how life is. Every single human being on earth like like someone else's life compared to them. Compared to them,
Mhm.
I guess. Am I clear or not? Because I think I'm mixing up the stuff.
Yeah,
You're kind of
kind of.
going off topic, but it's
Yeah,
kind of clear.
but I mean, maybe let's
Yeah.
not go off topic already because we're just starting out, man. Seriously.
That's why I asked
Maybe
I will
I'll
be a
just take
gentleman,
over.
you
Yeah,
know.
I'll just take over. Maybe. Yeah. So, first things first, as I asked my first question back before we even started, cycle of life more sounds more of like, biological stuff, food chain sort of stuff, grass, grass, deer eats grass, tiger eats
Food
deer,
chain, man. Food
and
chain. Food
tiger,
chain.
yeah,
Yeah.
food
Food
chain, yeah,
chain.
tiger dies, and
Food
then
chain.
the decomposer of tiger is eaten by grass, and grass grows, and then the cycle continues. So, the whole cycle
Mhm.
of life sort of thing sounds like that, to me at least. If we really gonna talk about, uh, you know, the thing that I said, you just get behind something to just get into the rat race, maybe we should actually change the topic of this from circle of life to maybe rat race.
No, no, no.
Ooh.
So I think it's better the way it is because it's
But
up to the host, and the other stuff is like we can slowly change the direction to the rat race and all this stuff. We can start from the what of the life?
Cycle.
I don't know. Cycle, yeah,
uh,
cycle of life,
you aren't paying
Yeah,
and then
attention,
Mohammed
Himal.
we
Mera,
can
King Mohammed.
we can
Yeah.
partially get into this.
If you didn't get
So,
the reference, what's the last
because
part, guys?
Yeah. But yeah, like as I said, like there
what do
could
you
be
mean?
different
What was the
interpretations.
reference? I didn't get that one.
Yeah, because
What
you're
did you
too busy
say?
forgetting names.
Yeah, you have to watch the last part, bro.
Go
But
watch the last part,
No,
mate.
no, no, no.
Go watch
I
this part
didn't.
as well.
I didn't get him.
Watch this
I
part
don't
as
know.
well.
no, no, okay, coming
I
back
don't
to
know.
our topic, okay, guys. So yeah, as I said, there could be different interpretations of life, but first let's dive into the rat race thingy that everyone is so fond of, and we could discuss about the other cycles, other circles, other food chains, or else like other chains that connect with each other, right? But the first question that I asked was, what is the cycle of life? So the answers that I expected from you was like, what exactly is the rat race for you? You know, what exact, since we're diving into rat race, what exactly defines a rat race for you?
So, will you go first, Himal, or should I?
I think the guy in Ananda's background and we have a same hoodie. I guess.
All right, I'll just divert it. All right.
Yeah, should be fine. Just to like let us know
Maybe
that we're wearing the same hoodie.
maybe I should try a new background. Can you change the background here? Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, you
Why don't we
can.
do the professional background, guys? Seriously. Yeah. I mean,
You need to have a green screen
this
to
looks
do
good. Yeah.
a professional.
Yeah. So,
None. Okay, bug hunt.
That's all
Intro,
right.
bug hunt, all
all right.
systems. So we're talking about life, man, not about vulnerability, okay?
Yeah.
No, no
Sure.
So get
problem.
something
So,
relatable.
yeah, it's Chris. So what was the question, Chris? Sorry about that.
Yeah, what exactly defines the cycle of life for you? What are the components in the cycle of life? As I said, that in a biological standpoint, there could be the five components. And in today's professional life or like the advanced generation, people might also add like two more components, which could be work and money. But I might be missing some components because I just came
So
and that I just spoke it out on top of my head. So
yeah, so if I had to be honest, I'll just say that the cycle of life is all about reproduction. if we go to biological standpoint, if we go to our DNA, if we go back when we were apes, I'd say it's
Hmm.
all about just
Another,
reproduction. Yeah, yeah, Himal. What do
I
you
what
mean,
mean?
is DNA?
Sorry, what?
Cross question.
I
What
mean,
actually is DNA? What actually
uh, di
DNA?
Diribonucleic acid or something. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not a biology student, so
uh-huh.
yeah. Anyway, regardless, Himal, that was a stupid question. But yeah, so I mean, the true cycle of life, the true cycle of life is all about uh, giving birth, dying, giving birth, dying, giving birth, dying. That's ultimately that's how we are made. We are hard coded to be honest, right? Because see,
Hmm.
Yeah, and
animals,
then
it's all about surviving and reproducing. Because you see, all the animals we're just a bit advanced from we're just the animals with a bit of a brain who actually knows how to speak English and create languages and stuff like that. You know, but
Uh-huh.
at the end of the day, we still bleed, right? We still we still have all the things that all those animals have. Just a tiny little bit of more brain. That's it. That's all we got. So we don't have to be too high of ourselves, to be honest. So yeah, if you look at what those animals do, you can see what we were meant to be originally. So yeah,
Hmm.
cycle of life, I would define it from the animal point of view, or like the what do you call it? Biological, maybe one can say, but not the
Yeah.
typical biological standpoint, but from our something that's written down in our DNA, right?
Hmm.
So
And
yeah.
as years have passed, as generations
like,
have
you know
passed,
what?
there.
Like I have like so
Mm.
I think I have information to pass. So
Yep.
about the reproduction and then like giving birth. So what I have heard recently is so it matters. So like if I'm going through certain stuff in my life and then if I give birth to a baby, so not actually me, so my baby, my DNA, my sperm. So so the life that I was living, so everything that goes through a sperm and then have impact on a baby. That's what I have heard, but I have no idea like how true it is.
Yeah, but we are
Is
going
it
off topic, I
is
guess,
it true
Himal.
or not? So
I mean,
no, come on, it's
this
if
might
it
be.
is so like come on. So if it's like that and then if it's like that, we should marry late, man. Come on, so that
No, no, no.
like
I
our
mean,
kid.
we're not here to talk about ourselves, mate. We're not here to discuss when we're
No, no,
gonna
no,
marry, right?
No, even within
not
reproduction,
not about the
let
marrying.
no, let's not dive deep into reproduction because
Himal, why
that,
why
that
are you going so
that
much
could
off
be a
topic,
video.
man? Maybe you can just sign up for today, Himal. We'll just take over. Don't worry.
Reproduction could be a topic for another day. But
I
no,
mean, how the
but
hell did you go into like sperm whales from cycle of life? Freaking ass.
no, but still, okay, no, coming back, when as years have passed, as generations have passed, people for like when I personally analyze it, what I think of it as people are forgetting the biological aspects of life and they're adding the new components, the so-called new components to life, that is education, that is work, career, money. And the basic, you talked about reproduction being the most fundamental component of the cycle. And you can see, like, when I have to give a practical example, when we look at Japan, right? What people are in today's generation, what they're more focused on is their careers. They don't care about reproduction. How you can see that the birth rates are getting low every year, every now and then, right? Even the government is paying Japanese people if they have a child or something. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but I heard about it. But you can see how people have been more focused on their career, on their work, on their money, aside from the fundamental component that is reproduction. So you can also say that people in today's generation, they're kind of drifting away from the fundamental cycle of life, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it all boils down to one single question, that is, what does it mean to be a part of the cycle? And everyone probably watching this video has probably never questioned that, but even if they have questioned that, they never like, took any steps to actually break out of the cycle, because there's still the question that whether breaking out of the cycle is actually the solution though, right?
Yeah.
But first, what does it mean to be in a part of a cycle, and how are we in a part of a cycle? Well, all of us were grown up, we studied till I don't know how many years, like 12, 13, 14 years. We're still studying. What we have in our mindset is, I gotta earn money. I gotta look for a job. I gotta earn money. I gotta find a partner. I gotta start a family, and then,
That's a hard thing for you, Chris, honestly.
no, no, no. But
It's
listen,
not it's not easy
okay.
like it's
Let's
studying,
let's not let's not get into that again, Himal.
No, we'll get into that later, Himal, because I'm trying to prove that I'm trying to go out of the cycle in a sense, but we'll dive
Okay,
into that later on,
so
okay?
I think it
But
will
yeah,
be easy for you to get more into the circle of life.
yeah, but the fact,
Cycle of life, sorry, my bad. So
the
cycle of
fact,
life, I think
uh-huh,
it's I think you can use Lion King as an example, so it will be easy for you to explain in detail.
Lion King, and okay,
The Lion King, man, come on, Simba,
yeah, I was
How?
Simba.
go
How do you
Simba.
how do you connect Simba with the cycle of life, man? They are not
I
educated.
mean,
They don't
bro,
have a word.
there
Oh my
is
goodness.
a line or something in Lion King about the circle of life. So is just remembering that and throwing it up. Himal, please shut up, man. Shut up this ball.
Okay,
You
well,
you're going too.
we're disregarding the whole biological cycle of life, okay? We're only focusing on today's cycle of life that people have been so much focused on that they forget that they are running in a cycle, they are running in rat race. And what I was telling you guys was that everyone, even our viewers, they're still running this rat race. They're always there. They have this mindset that they have to work, they have to earn money, right? But then they hardly question that, why do we do so? Because at the end of the day, money is just another thing made by us humans, right? It's not exactly our ultimate goal to earn money, because that was ultimately made by human beings itself. So that's not the goal.
Yeah,
Then what is the essence of life? What is the
what
goal
is
of
my
life,
name?
right? But there are hardly few people who question about this, and the main question that still remains is whether being outside of the cycle, being outside of the cycle is actually the solution for it. And what do you guys think about this fundamental question? That is it really necessary to be outside of the cycle? And why not?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Chris, actually. But before we even get into it, there's one thing we all need to keep in mind. Uh, you know, just being in the cycle itself is not a wrong thing or not a right thing. I mean, you cannot just say that you're in the cycle. Oh no, what you're doing, right? Because it's
Mhm.
neither
Yeah,
right
get
nor wrong.
up.
You don't have to get out of the
Get up.
cycle just because Chris is saying so.
Yeah.
So I mean, Himal,
Mhm.
what's the deal with you, mate?
Okay, now continue.
Himal, please mute and laugh, man.
Uh-huh. Now continue, Ananda.
Sorry, guys. I would like to apologize on behalf of Himal. Himal, the
Mhm.
hero, is not the hero anymore, I guess. But yeah,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
what I was saying was that yeah, the cycle,
Go on. Now, what is wrong with the cycle, man? Like, can I not phrase it as cycle?
I,
Wait. Ah,
I need to rewatch why
that was deep.
Himal laughed. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, go on, man.
yeah.
No. I'll explain why I laugh.
Yeah.
So Ananda was explaining like why you have to be on a cycle, and I was like, get a motorcycle, get a car, and then, oh my
Okay,
It's like
circle of life. Okay.
it's like telling homeless people to buy a home. You know? Yeah.
Okay, circle of life.
God.
Okay, go
Anyway, yeah.
on.
I mean,
Circle of.
it's not that emo. You should be serious, man. Seriously. Yeah. So as I was saying, like, there's no right or wrong thing in this aspect because it is such a huge, topic. I'd say because if we really start taking a deep dive into all this, maybe we'll end up in the existence of life, the creation of universe, and maybe ultimately to the 60/40 rule. So it's like a domino effect. One thing lead to another, and it will eventually lead to the universe. And so, but yeah, in my point of view, I don't think it's a bad thing to be in the cycle, and that's maybe the society runs that way because that's how we're the most comfortable. Because
Uh-huh.
the main purpose of human beings is to make their life easy. I mean, the main goal, I'd say, not the purpose, uh, because they everything that exists today exists just because people wanted to be lazy, So yeah, so the cycle is created in such a way that you're really lazy, and I mean you can be comfortable. Not lazy would be a bit of a negative word to use. So I'd say comfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want in terms of the rat race and stuff, yeah, if you want, you cannot really be out of the cycle unless you are either really rich or you just don't have a care for your life at all. And yeah, I mean we're all bound by it. We're all bound to it, but that automatically doesn't
Hmm.
mean it's a bad thing, in my point of view. And it's
Yeah.
I'm more on the side of it's okay to be in the cycle, and yeah, maybe trying to break it out. You can try to break out of the cycle, but depends on which part of the cycle. What do you exactly want to break out of? Do you want to break out of
What are
uh,
the aspect of the cycle?
yeah, I mean there are lots of things you can break out of, right? You can break out of the having kids sort of things, marrying and stuff like that. You can break out of the race for money. You can break out of
Yeah,
the race for
you can break
your
out from eating
desire.
meat.
Yeah, so Himal, please, man,
Yep.
seriously. I mean, yeah, that could be one as
Hmm.
well, but like,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
but
true.
we're a bit in deeper topics, not into meat and stuff like that. Yeah, you can break out of all these worldly things, like maybe like look for enlightenment or something, be a monk or something like that. So it really
Hmm.
depends. Also the other way, you can break out by earning so much money that you don't have to worry about money at all. So yeah, there are various ways you can break out of the cycle, and it depends which part of the cycle you want to break out of, and what's your exact purpose after you break out. So yeah, Chris,
Okay.
maybe you'd like to add on something here.
So yeah, as you mentioned that in the, I mean, I would like to connect it to the previous generations, right? With the monks and all.
Yeah.
What they mean by breaking out of the cycle is to attain enlightenment, right? But in today's context, why I am bringing up this question and this whole topic is because not just because people want to disregard their career, education, marriage, and all, because those are still there. But in a sense, people want to be unique in today's generation, right? I want to be unique than what you are. Himal wants to be unique than what we are, right? We want to be unique in a sense that we can be recognized in the future, in the coming days, as a different person, and that is where the topic of individuality comes in. And what individuality basically means is I want to be unique compared to anyone else out there. And what is the number one thing I would do to be unique? That is to break off the cycle. I would leave my education if that is an option. That is an option. I would not marry someone if that is an option. That is still a way to be unique, though, right? But that might not exactly be the solution, right? And there may or may not be benefits to that, but in a sense, today's generation demands uniqueness. And even for me, I have had this personal conflict with myself that I have to aim to be unique compared to other people. I have to be a person that can be, suppose you mention a person who is good at this, good at that, that could be just be anyone else out there. But me personally, I want to be that one person who none of the other people have ever been or ever strived to been. So that is where the uniqueness aspect comes in and the individuality aspect comes in. And the main question is whether being unique is exactly the solution, right? Rather than just, yeah,
Yeah, you can be unique by just running naked in your uni, Chris. Maybe you give it a try because
sorry?
Come on, Anand, be
you you
serious,
you
okay?
can be unique by running naked in your university. Give it a try. I'm sure nobody has done it before. So that's a great way to be
This
unique.
could be- and
So
that is
see,
that is a way
yeah,
that is a way to be unique, but
that's
that is not
the
a great way to be unique,
exactly
okay?
that's the example that I wanted to give you. Just because you're unique doesn't mean you're good. Just because you're
Mm-hmm.
unique doesn't mean it's really cool. So I mean,
Uh-huh.
see, even if see, you're not out of the cycle by looking for trying to be unique because you're still chasing for something.
Yeah.
And as long as you're chasing stuff, I don't think you're truly out of the cycle. So yeah, in this logic, we ultimately end up to the enlightenment. But yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's the only way you can truly break out of the cycle. Unless I
Yeah,
don't.
and like to be unique in today's generation, I feel like the best way, as you said, is not exactly to break out of the cycle, but to still like be in the cycle, but chase something different compared to other people, right? And I think that is the best way because in today's generation, you cannot just leave everything and be like, I'm gonna be a monk, right? Because there are different societal norms that you have to follow. You cannot just tell to your mom and dad that, oh, mom and dad, I'm gonna leave my uni, I'm gonna go to a mountain and meditate or something because that is not a very reasonable thing. But in order to be unique or how people want to differentiate themselves, like the whole topic of individuality, what we could do is we could try to do the same thing that everyone does, but in a different way. And that could still satisfy your needs, right? And that is what me personally, I would like to pursue, right? And what do you guys think about wanting to be unique and have you guys like ever are you guys ever doing anything to be unique because me personally I normally tend to even though I say I do but most of the times I don't but I always have this at the back of my head that I have to try to do everything in a different way. I have to try to be a little different from everyone else. Like even just the simple thing, I try to make it. You guys ever seen the Carpe Zoro video about 5 things that you have been doing wrong? So what I did in those videos is basically what everyone does, but in a different way. And sometimes I do it in a harder way. Like it doesn't even make sense. I try to do it in a difficult, a more harder way with a different approach, but that's still fulfills my desire to be unique. And I have been chasing that ever since I was a child. And that is the main reason I actually brought up this topic. And the one answer I wanted to know is do you really have to be unique? Can you just not be like any other person? Like is that what is the optimum goal? And that is the answer that I actually seek from this podcast, if it helps. But yeah, in your terms, you
Okay,
guys' terms, what do you exactly do to be unique, or do you feel like being unique or not?
okay. So everyone is unique on their own way. So
Mm-hmm.
nobody is similar, I guess. So other question was, do you need to be
Mm-hmm.
a unique guy? I don't really think so, cause yeah, I think I might be a wrong guy, cause I'm already a unique guy. So I think we should seek answer from a normal and ordinary guy. Yep,
Just say
go
that.
ahead.
Just say that you didn't find anything to say. Anyway, yeah, that's a unique way of
Okay,
telling.
Nah,
wait,
I do
wait,
have.
wait,
That's a
wait.
unique way of saying you don't know what to say. Yeah, but
Wait, I got
Oh
a
my
key point
goodness.
right here. Okay, so Himal told Ananda ordinary, right? And I think that is where the main problem comes in. When if you're not unique, you become ordinary, and that is why people want to be unique. So Why do you judge people
Oh
as
my God.
ordinary if they are
See,
not,
Ananda,
if they are similar, you
Ananda,
know?
this is
See,
what I
yeah,
really
Chris,
want. And
Chris,
then I
you,
was checking.
Himal, yeah, I mean,
This is
please,
what I really want from the.
Hmm. No,
Who
is
is
not.
Chris today? A host. Okay.
Uh,
This
Chris,
is what I
Chris,
want from
Chris,
host, you know.
Chris brought a really interesting topic. Yeah, I love
okay.
it, man. Seriously.
And the
Yeah,
question
so
is not being unique equals to being ordinary or being basic? That
before
is the
So
question, yeah.
I
I
even
have
dive,
I have a perfect example. I have a perfect example. So do you guys ever heard of a challenge video that like th in a room there are a bunch of guys, right? And then a host gave a balloon to every single one. And then there was a rule. Come on, why you are laughing,
Go on,
host?
go on,
So
go on.
and then the host says like whoever has a balloon by the end of the game will win the prize. Okay? That's the only rule. And then people started like blasting each other's balloon, protecting arms and then pee 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 and then so they had a fight and then there was none of them like winner, so not a single person was a winner as everyone's balloon was popped up and then host brings up like host like asks them why did you guys like fight and like blast each other's balloon. And then I never mentioned about there can be only one winner. So if everyone is still and remain until the game finish, so everyone would be a winner, you know.
Hmm.
So they have passed something or not. So something
Yeah,
relatable or not.
connecting, no, connecting
So
this to being unique would probably correlate to
so
what
like
if everyone is, if everyone
so
strives to be
you
unique,
didn't
then
yeah you
they are
didn't.
unique in their
So
own way.
there's a catch. So there's a catch. So
Uh-huh.
you don't need to be unique, but you don't want to be ordinary. So
so yeah, here's the deal. Don't be unique, but be extraordinary. Now, you're not really
now,
unique as well, but you're not ordinary as well. You're extraordinary, you know. We have that word for a
well, it's like
reason.
if it's about a life, then everyone have like different belief and then different. So everyone have a. So it's like people following religion or like people have a, role model or like someone to look after, someone to always look after, and then like move forward. So you can be specific on this thing. Other than that, so about the ordinary and the unique stuff. So as I have already said, like everyone is unique, but not all of them are ordinary. That's the catch. And then what exactly do you think person like how do you define a person? Like so let's guess like let's you guys don't know me in person. So am I a
Hmm.
normal guy, ordinary guy, extraordinary guy, or unique guy? What
Yeah,
exactly it is?
You are a city
I would
guy.
probably, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
unique. That's
No,
unique. So you
yeah.
fall in unique
The,
category.
in terms of appearance, yes, we can judge people, but since all of us are not that different than rest of the other brown people, we're not unique in our appearances, right? So if you ask
No,
me
I
whether I
am.
look unique, no, you are not.
Mhm,
But if you
mhm.
ask me whether you are unique after you show me your qualities, after you show me your the things that you could do, then I could probably judge whether you're different or like, as you said, extraordinary in a way, not exactly unique, but if you do the same things that everyone is doing, but in a different way, I would call you extraordinary. I would not call you unique. Does that make sense?
Nah, you should call him
Yeah,
unique, not extraordinary. Because extraordinary is someone who does the same thing in an exceptional way, in a good and maybe easier or efficient
No,
way.
that's what I said though. No, that's what I said.
So
We're
that's
doing
what he
this.
actually said. So you're just paraphrasing the same line
No,
and
Chris
acting
said
like
in a
the same
different
guy. Nah,
different
you
way does
are.
not different way does not mean extraordinary. You can do the same thing different way, but a harder way. That does not make you extraordinary. That makes you unique, or maybe like stupid,
Yeah.
right?
So in
Stupid
general,
does
it
not
means like if you're doing it.
unique can equal to stupid, but extraordinary cannot equal to stupid. So different does not really
So Ananda is just been
different. Doing it in different
as
way does not
catch.
really mean you're extraordinary. If you can do that, the
Hmm.
same thing in a better way, you can do the same thing in an efficient manner. Maybe I'd call it extraordinary. So yeah,
I mean, it makes sense.
you guys didn't even let me
And then like
finish, man. I was
also
really about to
okay,
bring a nice topic. Yeah,
okay, you can continue, man. Then if you're too serious,
yeah.
yeah, yep. Give us a extraordinary topic or a unique topic. I don't know. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, unique topic. You've been giving that all the time, Mike. So it's me who
Give us
always.
an extraordinary topic.
This is a nice thing we came up with. Unique or extraordinary, right?
So
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
so
So,
so,
so now
so
the,
I
the
have a
question,
question. Like
Chris, the question to you, seriously,
Uh-huh.
do you want to be unique or extraordinary?
Okay, for me,
Yeah.
whatever you said was extraordinary, that is what I assumed being unique was. So ultimately,
Yeah.
I
So now,
strive for being
re
extraordinary.
rephrasing it. Do you want to be unique or extraordinary? After we've discussed all these things, unique or extraordinary,
Uh-huh.
which one do you
Yeah,
choose?
so I want to be extraordinary in terms of
Yeah.
our definition of extraordinary. That
Hmm.
is, if it is being exceptionally well compared to someone in the same task, doing the same thing, you know,
so
but
I
See,
think
exceptionally
so I
well. Not,
think
see,
so
yeah, the thing,
as of
so,
now,
yeah.
let me talk. So as of now that people around us, people our age, what they're doing, I mean how like they pursue things, I think we're already an extraordinary. So time to let everyone know, what I mean, time for appreciation, because you have to do it once in a while. So that makes you happy, Chris. You're
no,
an
I get it.
extraordinary guy.
No, I get it. But
So,
like in a sense,
hmm,
I also want to be unique though. Like
Yeah, so
I don't
Chris,
really want to be better than someone, but I want to be different too sometimes. But then I want to be different and better at the same time. So unique to the
so
ordinary.
it's like,
Does that make sense?
can I speak
Unique
yeah,
seriously?
I
ordinary.
got you, Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
you,
can, man. Why
you,
you're feeling like suffocated? Why you feel
you
like
guys are
why you
host. I'm having a serious problem, man. Yeah, you need
Himal,
to
come
please.
on?
work on this. Yeah, I have the
Himal, please.
freedom of
Yeah.
speech. We still have the freedom of speech in Nepal. It's not like the US or the Australia or whatever. So yeah, yeah, Chris, you brought up a nice thing. You said you want to do completely be unique as well, not just extraordinary, because extraordinary means you're doing something that ordinary guys does, but in a better way. So, do you really think there are unique things that only you do? Because there is no unique thing in this world if we take it literally. Because whatever you do, whatever you're doing, someone else has already done it, or someone is already doing it. And yeah, I mean, extraordinary is the only thing that you can do because there is no truly unique thing. Everything is just ordinary thing. You can try to be extra in it. Does that make sense to
Yeah,
you?
but it is. Yeah, but it is relative to the people that I interact with on a daily basis, right? I cannot be like someone might be doing this in one part of Iceland, but when I compare it to my friends, my peers, then I could be unique in the circle. And that is what I strive to be.
I mean, to
So
be
I think
honest,
I can give I can like be an example for you guys. Like so, being a unique and an extraordinary guy, I think we can relate anyone as an international student, not me. So if I talk about me, so it will be a mess. And then I know I'm extraordinary, but I don't want you guys to praise me. I don't need it. Fuck off. All right. So, so if you're an international student, you're competing with domestic students. So the competition is fair enough, easy for domestic student as they don't need to work like us. I'm just giving an idea. I'm not talking about me, not personal
Mhm.
though. And then so you can so in my example, you can like take international student as a unique and extraordinary guy at the same time if he is really into studies. So I think we should talk about in US right now because Australia is not a place where students like well students are here for studies at all. I doubt. So in general, if a student is like working like work like a crazy guy and then go to uni and then compete with domestic guy with a different approach, super active in class, and then balancing work life and uni life. That must be not a unique but extraordinary. If you're good in studies, that's extraordinary, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally,
but I
But
totally.
think
did it make any sense for you guys or not?
It
So
did. It
it's
did.
like so everyone is working and making money. That's not normal. That's not unique though. So it's like it's normal. It's the same thing that everyone does. But like at the same time, while you're earning money, you go to uni and then you're serious on studies and then you're doing whatever it takes to be good at that. So that makes you extraordinary, which should be normal. You know what I mean?
yeah, I could like give a very personal answer to this about how I felt about being unique and extraordinary. So back in the days when I used to solve the Rubik's Cube, right? So I had two kinds of feelings, right? First is I want to the normal standard way to solve a Rubik's cube is the CFOP method, if like just for like generalizing. So what I wanted to pursue at first was I wanted to do the CFOP method as everyone does, but I wanted to do it faster, right? So I wanted to be extraordinary in a sense. But then as time passed by, I wanted to invent a new method to solve the cube, even though it might take more time. It might not be efficient, but I strive to like solve it in a different way. But I couldn't come up with it myself because I'm not a genius. But what I did was I learned another method, the ROU method, ROUX method. There is another method that hardly people did not use it in a way in like professional competitions because it might not be that efficient. But I always had that feeling in me that just because I'm doing what everyone else is doing does not mean that I cannot use another method, even though it might not be efficient, right? So, like personally, like if I had to like uh, tell it to Ananda, like whatever work you are doing right now, right? What exactly is that you are doing right now? Like, if I may ask.
I mean, in what sense? What do you?
He's
I
doing
mean,
this. He's
No,
doing.
no. Suppose in like bug bounty field, right? So, like, what is your main target basically? Like, what are you more proficient
For
at?
I mean,
repeating.
right now I'm not really doing book bounties, but I'm doing source code review of in my job. I'm doing
Yeah.
code review of WordPress plugins and themes, and yeah, basically source code review of PSP. You can
Yeah,
say as
and I
well.
think at some time
Mm.
you wanted to do everything, right? So you wanted part of every field, like every way to approach that, and then you later started becoming proficient in source code review
Yeah.
because that was your main thing, right? And I think it branches out here too. So you were extraordinary back in the day, but now you're extraordinary too, but you're more unique in a sense. Oh, wait. You're more extraordinary right now, but you were unique back then because you used to do the same things in a different way, but now you're doing one thing that everyone does, but in a better way. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think it all branches out to our first, I don't know, our first or second podcast topic where I discussed
Specialization
about
and
no, I discussed about wanting to be versatile in more
yeah,
stuff and you
yeah,
wanted to be proficient in a single stuff, right?
yeah.
I think that is also where being extraordinary and unique stems out, you know?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
kind of a deep topic. Uh-huh.
I think the whole question is wrong here, to be honest. Because I mean, being one wanting to be unique, I don't think that's really something that you strive for. I mean, you
Yeah.
why would someone want to be unique, man? You can try and want to be best.
So
Why
I
not want to be the
I never
best? Why
try to
want
be
to be?
unique back
What,
home. That like you know I ne I never try to be unique back home. Like pooping and then like using a tissue paper to wipe my ass. You know that's not
No,
a better
like
way.
not in that sense, right? But like
Like since
think of it in a better sense, right? Not in just any other task, but in a better task, you know?
yeah,
Like
I mean, yeah,
what I wanted to say, like the question that you're asking, like disregard
what
he's
Chris
gone.
is gone.
wanted to tell you that people in
That was
today's
unique.
generation they do not want to be classified as ordinary. That is the question, you know.
Wait, bro, wait.
It's
You were
not about
stuck.
being
When was the
unique or
quote?
You
Wait,
were stuck.
wait.
Please repeat your question. You were stuck. That was unique, to be honest. Yeah.
oh sorry, my bad. My bad. No. See, the main question is people in today's generation do not exactly want to be unique, but the main fact is they do not want to be ordinary. Okay, I'll rephrase it. They do not want to be ordinary. They want to be different than other people. And for me, like being different came out as the word unique, but for you, it came out as the word extraordinary, right? But I basically mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Like they want to do the same thing. They don't want to like throw away everything. They want to do the same thing everyone is doing, but in a better way, right?
Yeah.
So that is what I
Yeah.
meant, like being
I get you.
extraordinary. Yeah.
Totally valid, concern. But yeah, so I'd like to add up to your, Rubik Cube's example here. You said that
Hmm.
everyone was doing the same, you know, same mm, same algorithm to
Method. Yeah.
solve the Rubik's Cube, but you went one step ahead and try to learn a new method, and which would eventually lead to maybe faster solving the cube, right? So
Hmm.
if you would consider that unique, but I would say that you were extraordinary for that case. Why, you may
Yeah,
ask? Yeah,
because
yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, uniqueness is the result of you being extraordinary in that case. It's not that you're
I
really
think
being,
it's more on. I think it's more on perception.
elaborate, might.
So
Mhm.
like
Uh-huh.
it is
Why
totally
are
based
you
on perception.
naked?
Like
What
no,
the
it's too damn hot, man. Come on,
bro,
it's too hot.
when did you get naked, man?
He was wearing a hoodie and then he's naked right now.
Damn hot, man. Come on,
Guys,
sorry for that.
please
Sorry,
comment down the
girls.
time he was not naked.
Sorry,
Climate, climate, climate change, man.
sorry, girls. Sorry, girls. Okay.
Ethics of climate
So,
change.
uh, please cover the
so
last side of
it's
your
more
screen.
about perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in a
What do you
sense,
mean by
like,
that?
being
So like
unique.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was
being
unique.
unique and
That was unique,
extraordinary is
but
a
that was not good, right, Chris? That's an example that I was trying to imply. Just because you're unique doesn't mean
Yeah.
that's good.
Uh-huh. But
Yeah.
I think the
yeah.
need
So
for wanting to be different than others is
let
a fun.
me
Uh-huh.
end my stall. Okay. So
Yes, okay.
that's a so our argument is totally based on perception. Why are you guys laughing? I have no idea. So like you had a discussion right now about the Rubik's Cube. Chris
Mm-hmm.
told that it's a unique, right? For Chris,
Mm-hmm.
that's a unique approach to have, unique
Yeah.
like unique thing to do. But
Uh-huh.
from the another's perspective, he think like Chris is an extraordinary guy. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
make make any sense to you guys or not?
Yeah, in a way, because like what Anand, no, see, what we're getting mixed up is that unique and extraordinary are the same thing, but we have different perceptions
See,
of it. So like
I mean,
what
that's not
the
the point. The point is not the wording, guys. Come on, focus on the thing that I'm trying to imply, not the words. See, I mean,
yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that I mean the word unique is wrong totally. That's what I said first. And Chris, you said you were different from others, and yeah, extraordinary people are different from others. You cannot be extraordinary by doing ordinary stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
That's my point. So maybe we should rephrase the whole question. Yeah, as Himal said, it's about perception, but it's not about perception. It's about the use of word. To be honest,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
because we can
Mm-hmm.
And
we can.
use of word is based on perception. You know what I mean? So they are interrelated.
Okay. Okay, we are
Yeah,
getting very philosophical with this,
Himal,
man.
Himal, you win truly. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's more about, yeah,
Yeah,
perception means your personal
that's
opinion, but the word are the way they are. It's not about perception, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I
The
don't want to
yeah.
get more into it. But as I was saying,
Okay.
uh, see, Chris, you want to do something different, you want to do something better, because
Mm-hmm.
there are certain limitations to that algorithm as well. Maybe you just wanted to do it for the
Uh-huh.
sake of trying something new, but that's how you become extraordinary. Ordinary people only are doing this specific algorithms. You went that extra mile. You learned the new thing, and I would not consider it as unique. Maybe yeah, you might be unique in front of your friends. Yeah, you can use that word as well. You can use the word different as well. But maybe in general, it's better to say that you were extraordinary by doing that, right? So
Yeah.
so if we just change the question from you wanting to be unique to you wanting to be extraordinary, that's a completely different topic. See, I want to be unique. I want to be extraordinary. How different these two statements are, right? So
Hmm.
if
okay.
Okay.
Respect, respect, respect.
if your goal is to be unique, uh,
Uh-huh.
what will happen is that, see, you just have to look for things that others are not doing, and that's kind of
That's
limits.
a cheap thing to have as a goal.
Yeah, that's not a good thing to
Okay.
have as a goal because that limits a lot of your
Yeah.
possibilities. See, you want to learn maybe Spring Boot, right? You want to learn Node.js or
Uh-huh.
something. So if my goal is I want to be unique, I would not go and learn that, right? Why?
Oh,
Why? Because everyone is doing it, right?
Yeah.
How would I be
Mm-hmm.
unique by learning, Node? How would I be by learning, Spring or whatever? But
so I will give you an example. So
if you
that's
rephrase Himal, please, if you rephrase your goal,
so
Himal.
everyone is
Himal,
Himal,
please let
wait.
me
I'm the
finish it,
so
man.
host. Let him speak,
What
man.
the hell is this
Let him
behavior,
speak.
man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to kick him out. Yeah.
yeah.
okay.
This
Go
dude is
on.
literally speaking while I'm in middle of the sentence, man. Seriously,
Go on, Ananda. Raise
guys,
your hand
please,
at
please,
least, man.
same, same.
Where's your
Yeah, same Himal,
yeah.
same Himal in the comments, guys. Please support me. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Anyway,
Himal is being unique in a sense that he is not following the cultural norms of our culture.
oh
He's just respecting our culture. Very
yeah,
unique, man.
very
You're a
unique,
shitty unique person.
very unique, Himal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, Ananda.
So, as I was saying, if we rephrase our question from our goal from I want to be unique to I want to be extraordinary, then you can be extraordinary in whatever you want, right? You can learn
Yeah.
Node.js. Yeah, you'll be ordinary at first, but then you'll start doing things that no one has ever done. Then you'll start looking at the things that,
Building my own.
yeah, you'll
Mm-hmm.
be starting to you'll start building your own empire, right?
Uh-huh.
Maybe you'll develop something in Node itself that no one has really done before. You cannot expect yourself to be unique before you even get started, right? See, if you want it to be unique, uh, before you even started learning Rubik's Cube, you wouldn't even get into it, right? Because everyone is solving Rubik's Cube. But you wanted to do something different once you mastered Rubik's Cube, right? You mastered it and
Mm-hmm.
now you want to be different. Now you want to do something unique. That makes sense. And that's called being extraordinary, not really unique. Because the thing that you did at first, it was ordinary. If you have the goal of being unique, you wouldn't even take the Rubik's cube in your hand because yeah, everyone is doing it. So in order
Yeah.
in order to be different, in order to be unique, ultimately, you need to be ordinary at first, do the normal things at first, be a normal guy at first, and then move on
Mm-hmm.
towards being extraordinary. That's what I think.
Yeah, Himal. You wanna
Yeah.
add something?
So yeah, I have a lot of things to say, but
Yeah, you could say.
on a wrong place,
Oh, okay,
in a
okay,
wrong
okay,
place,
okay. Wait, Himal. Okay,
wrong
let me
pod.
ask. let me ask my question to Ananda, okay?
Yeah.
So in your terms, right, does being versatile equals being unique, or does that mean being extraordinary? So if I'm able to do a lot of things, different things, I'm capable of doing different things in different fields, which is different from a lot of people, right? Which is different from an ordinary person. Does that make me extraordinary, or does that make me unique?
I mean, that would make you versatile. You already answered your question. But
Yeah.
but but
Sticky one. That's a
but
sticky one.
but if I have to like answer in terms of uniqueness or extraordinary, I believe you can be
Hmm.
unique by specializing, and you can be extraordinary by
You guys are
specialize
talking like,
by
you guys are
specializing as
talking
well.
like
But yeah,
Hmm.
I feel like I'm on like speech of a political party.
sure,
Oh
Max.
No,
my
this
goodness.
is
But
this is very philosophical that normal
it
brains cannot
cannot
comprehend. Okay.
comprehend. Yeah, yeah. Himal, you're not
Mhm.
unique in this case. We are.
Yeah, you have to make your brain unique, okay,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
extraordinary.
yeah. See, so as I was saying, that makes you versatile, like having wanting to, be to more of a generalized person, right? But yeah, I
Yeah,
can call that. I'd rather call that extraordinary instead of unique, because the thing that you're doing, you see, like I can do maybe sales, right? Himal can do marketing, and someone the third person can do coding, right? So if you can do all of
yeah,
it, that doesn't make you unique, right? Because
yeah.
you don't unique more of like means a niche, a specific thing that you can do
Yeah,
which
that can
others
make you
can't.
an extraordinary
So
guy. Yep,
that will
makes
not
sense.
make you unique.
That's a good one.
But you can do sales as well. You can do code. You can code as well. You can do marketing as well. That makes you an extraordinary guy for sure.
That's a good one, eh? I
So
like it.
you
Yep.
wanting to generalize with all the things doesn't align with your goal to be unique. So either you gotta
Okay.
rephrase it to wanting to be extraordinary, because yeah,
Hmm.
you can be extraordinary guy by doing like by being becoming a 10x guy, who can like handle lots of stuffs. Or
Hmm.
you gotta specialize, right?
Okay. So the main fact is that most of the people tend to aim to be extraordinary. Okay. So that
Yeah,
is the fact.
yeah.
I think every one of us feels the same way, though,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's more of like we want to be extraordinary, and we want to do something,
Yeah.
something that no one has done, right? Something that
Yeah.
only a handful of people have been able to do. So rephrasing the question makes it a lot more clearer for us to even have
Okay. No.
this
Okay,
discussion.
that was very informative and very philosophical.
Yeah.
Okay, but now let's move a step back and let's get back to the cycle. Okay, now we're done with individuality, being unique,
Okay,
uniqueness, extraordinary,
I
everything,
wanna
right?
get into like cycle. I wanna connect cycle and
Good.
then uniqueness and then no, I'm not into reproduction.
By
No worries,
talking
eh?
about sperm, bro.
Yeah,
No,
who else for? Yeah,
to the
Hima.
point, man. Come on, straight to the point. You know what I mean.
Yeah. No, we did
So
connect the cycle from being after, like we connect the cycle to being unique, to being
yeah,
extraordinary,
so
and we're coming back.
so
Okay.
we have talked about like living a life,
Mm-hmm.
doing our part, reproduction,
Mm-hmm.
and then living a life unique, extraordinary guy, physical stuff. Now, the only thing that is left to be discussed on this pod is about death.
Perfect sense. Oh, death.
That's a different
Death.
topic. That's a different
Yeah,
topic, Mike.
yeah.
Come
I
on,
think we
I'm
plan to
really
talk
interested.
about this too, but I think that is very sensitive for a YouTube video. I
No, no,
think it could get
no, no,
restricted.
no, man. Come on, seriously. I have got a links. I can ask them to remove.
No, no, but we could have that's in a different podcast because that is a very deep topic, and we could go into very soft topics of death, you know. But since we're talking about a cycle, what I want to connect next is aside from the rat race cycle that we have been talking about, right? Because the final conclusion for the rat race is maybe it's not about completely rejecting the cycle, but it's more about redefining your role in it, right? Redefining how you approach things, but in the same way as everyone does. So you do not need to disregard everything. You do not need to leave your whole career or whole education, but just try to do the things that everyone does, but in a different way, right? Being extraordinary. Okay,
Yeah,
so getting back to the uh-huh.
in my opinion, if you're not really, even thinking and just getting into the race, that's a rat race. But if you know what you're doing, if you know, if you're in control of your actions, if you're in control of what you want to do and what you don't want to do, I think I would not call that a rat
Yeah,
race, maybe. Yeah, because if
you can use me as an example,
as
man.
long
Come
as you're in
on,
control,
come
I
on.
would not really, because
You can,
calling it a rat race would demean it, right? It would make it look like it's a bad thing. But if you're in control and if you know, the only thing is if you know what you're doing and if you have the power, the have the control to change your way if things, maybe don't go right or something
Uh-huh.
like that. And if you're not just unconsciously, subconsciously following everything that you've been asked to do, then I would consider that you're out of the race.
Yeah, one more thing. You being aware that you're in a rat race makes you be outside of the rat race. Like, does that make sense? You have to be aware that you're in a rat race to
Yeah,
be
to
away from
to
the rat race. Okay?
exactly. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you knowing that you're dreaming in your dream, and now you're free. You can control your dream, right?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
called
Yep.
lucid
Yep.
dreaming.
Yep.
You guys can look it up if you are new to this concept. But yeah, you can do whatever you want in
Uh-huh.
your dream. I've tried that. It takes a couple of days, but that's the heaven, the true heaven you're looking for. It's in your dream, guys.
I know what you did. I know what you did.
Yeah.
Hey, 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 hey. You
Okay.
did reproduction,
Getting back.
eh? I
Okay.
know.
Getting back. If you have some more time, I'd like to discuss about this another cycle of reincarnation that everyone talks about and karma that we don't
Okay.
have much
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, we do not have much time, but maybe we can talk about karma, not reincarnation, but because reincarnation is bullshit. That's it. End of topic.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense because there's no any actual factual evidence to
Yeah,
support it,
even if
right?
there is, we'll look it up in the next life, man. Let us live this life,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In Naruto,
But
Naruto.
but in a sense, like karma is a part of reincarnation. So like
I mean,
reincarnation is the
karma
essence
is
where
more about getting what you do, getting back what you
yeah,
do,
in
and you don't have
yeah,
to wait for another life to get your karma. So we can get into it.
yeah, it depends, right? Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yes. So talk, do you
uh,
guys believe in karma? That
I
is the
mean,
main question. I mean,
if I look at the politicians of Nepal, I would say no. But there are some cases
yeah.
karma hits hard. But yeah, because the
No, so personally, I don't actually believe in karma as of now. Okay, to specify, I put as of now. So, what actually is karma? So, can you please define one of you
bro, why did you?
from your knowledge?
Sorry, man.
I know what is karma,
You're
but like,
just shut
I,
up, man.
I want to get no, no, no.
Uh-huh.
Come on. You're getting me wrong. Okay, I'm
Okay.
serious right now. So, I know the meaning.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know the meaning that
Uh-huh.
like I want to know the karma that you believe
Okay.
in. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Karma is basically Newton's third law. Okay. So that is
Yeah,
the main definition of karma.
exactly.
Whatever you do, you get a equal and opposite thing
But
affecting
you
you.
don't know when
Yeah, you don't know when though. That is the thing.
because some people never do.
Yeah.
Some people never do get the reaction of what I'm trying to say, Himal. You look confused.
Uh-huh. So it's a
Okay.
very
It's more of
personal topic.
it's more of like a moral thing, I'd say. I would not really want to dive too much into it because I
Yeah,
mean
yeah, yeah.
it's like
Because it's not.
it's sort of like manifestation stuff, If you manifest it,
Yeah,
you'll get it. Oh, really? Yeah, and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But
It's
does that
not.
really
Yeah,
work?
it's not supported by any
Evidence,
facts
yeah, it's
or
more
like any pure evidence in a big survey. It could be. It could happen to you. It could happen to me, but when you take a survey, it might not happen to
Yeah,
everyone, right?
I,
So
I
it's not a
think
fact.
I think these things like
No, I think
manifestations, karma
it's
are
so karma is totally based on your belief, I guess. So you
Yeah.
can about the stuff, So you went through for example, somebody went through an accident. Now
Hmm.
it's up to him either to blame karma or like blame his driving skill or like the circumstances that were present there at the time of accident.
yes. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
I came up with a really nice, thinking just now, right now. I think stuff
Yeah.
like these, manifestations, karma, and all of those more of like psychological or philosophical or whatever, these these
No,
things
no,
these
you
things
got the
really
good one.
take
You got the good one. So
these
Himal,
things,
please,
they are
please, let him
psychological.
talk, man.
yeah, these things really
Yeah.
take away your ownership in that matter. So if something good happens to you, it's like you're not the one, right? Like who made it happen.
Yeah, there
It's
should be the academic integrity though. Academic integrity for karma. Taking the credit. And is confused.
no, I'm not confused, but that was a lame joke.
That is very lame, Himal.
Come
Yeah.
on, come
Again,
on,
See,
bro.
Chris, you smile,
no,
man.
I
Come
mean,
Please,
on.
please
You
do
can't say
not
that.
spoil the pod, man.
see,
Yeah, Ananda.
yeah, as I was saying, you really these things make sense. Yeah, now that I think about it, these things make sense when you're talking about things that are not in your control. So maybe, see the things like that, your results, right? You have that in control once you give your till you give the exam, but once you give your exam, that's not in your control. So you need something to blame it on. You need something that will keep your heart,
No,
stable. That will keep
karma
your
and
mind,
manifestation are the thing that
please,
people
man,
credit
fucking
to.
what the hell? Let me
Okay,
speak.
sorry.
So
Sorry,
see,
my bad.
as I was saying, uh, you know, you're not in the control. So if something, if you even if you want something bad to happen to the politicians of Nepal, there's nothing you can do. So what you do is you blame you just put it on karma. Karma will do it, right? So your ex left you. You cannot do anything. You can just say that karma will hit them hard and be happy by yourself, right? That's a way
Hmm.
of making yourself happy. Same goes for manifestation. So you've got result in 1 week, and there's nothing you can do than manifest because everything is sort of like there's nothing in your control. So you need something to put your belief on. So I think these things like karma and manifestations are mostly for those purposes. And yeah, it's all made by human man. I don't think they truly exist.
So they're just like,
It's a
excuses made by
Yeah,
humans.
it's a way to make
So
make yourself, happy, I'd say.
It's a way to cope
yeah,
up with
so
Cope up,
like
yeah,
situations, whether
exactly.
it's
That's the
good
word I
or
was
bad.
looking for. It's a way to cope up with the things
so
that are not in
so
your
in
control.
Nepali there's Topilal. Karma is Topilal.
What does that mean?
Cope up Topilal.
Oh my, bro, kick this person out, Ananda, right now.
I didn't get the joke.
Even I didn't get the joke, but I know it's supposed to be a joke, which is not the correct time to hit
Oh
a,
my
give a
God.
joke, right?
Chris,
Come
in the
on,
pod,
Asis, help
I
me
think
out.
we should end the pod, man. It's already 1 hour.
I think we should wrap it up. Yeah. And yes, as karma and manifestation and all these other philosophical stuff, they might not be under your control, but what is under your control is for you to be extraordinary. So work on it if you want to be. If you do not want to be ordinary, that is the thing. So if you strive to be not exactly different, but extraordinary compared to other people,
Wait,
you got to start working now.
so if everyone is extraordinary, does that mean everyone is ordinary? Isn't that concerning? And
Ah,
with that being said, maybe we, man, that was a real power question, man. Seriously.
no, what? Wait. Does that make sense?
If everyone is extraordinary, that means the new ordinary is extraordinary. So the ordinary guy will be extraordinary. Oh my goodness, man. I asked the question that people ask in Reels, the podcast people.
Oh, you mean the
Okay.
TikTok videos,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, those. And
So if
we
everyone is extraordinary, what exactly is ordinary?
so that means we have finally qualified. We're finally qualified enough to ask deep
Yeah,
questions like that. So we're officially
certified
the
philosopher.
yeah certified podcasters. You know,
Yeah,
we did a breakthrough, man. Seriously, good job, guys.
good job, man.
Chris,
Okay,
time for buzzcut, man.
okay. Now with
All right.
this, we will be wrapping up this podcast. And sorry for the interruptions that Himal did throughout this podcast. I know he is in a very bad mood or he is
He,
suffering from mood swings, but let him
it's
slide.
Sleepy,
it's the time of
He'll
his
be
month.
learning in
sleepy.
the
Yeah.
he'll be learning in the coming pods. But thank you all for watching till now. I hope you got something
Late,
philosophical out of it.
almost 2 a.m. for me. It's almost 2 a.m.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't argue if you guys didn't understand most of the stuff because it was very philosophical. Even I forgot what I was talking about while I was talking about it. So because everything
Ordinary,
was so
ordinary
philosophical.
people stuff, guys. Ordinary people stuffs. You know, only I got the
But
whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, true,
but
true,
yeah,
true.
that's it, guys. Hope to see you in the next podcast and strive to be extraordinary. Let's go.